What is going on, everybody? Welcome into another edition of the Daily Energy News Beat Stand-Up here on this gorgeous Friday, January 27th, 2023. As always, I'm your humble correspondent, Michael Tanner, coming to you from an undisclosed location in Dallas, Texas. You made it to the end of the week, guys. I appreciate you joining us here on this week. We hope it was a good week. Hope it wasn't too bad. I can tell you it's been a long couple weeks for me, Stu. So I am looking forward to seeing this through. The man on the other end is the man, the myth, the legend, the executive producer of the show and the purveyor of the show and the director and publisher of the world's greatest website, EnergyNewsBeat.com, Stuart Turley. My man, how we doing today?
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and I'm back in bear country already.
You are back. You feel right at home. We fixed your sound issues, so hopefully we don't have any of those issues. But again, we appreciate everybody showing up here on this Friday. We'll try to keep it quick, but we actually have a lot of great stories. First one we're gonna run: nuclear power. Have no fear. Our clean energy future is radioactive. It's a great title, by the way. It's a great title for an article. But nuclear power back in the news. We'll talk about what that means. Next up, we have celebrities call on UK banks to stop financing new oil, gas, and coal fields. It's as Stu will say, there's just a lot of good one-liners in there. API. Biden administration must fix broken permitting process that prevents U.S. energy development, followed up by Chevron announcing they will spend $75 billion of stock buybacks. Eek. That's not good. Or is it? We'll cover what that means. Finally, we'll talk about Tesla weaponizing price cuts to crush EV competition. And we may not actually need all that lithium. So great stories lined up. Stu will kick it over to me for finance. Oil pretty steady here at about 81.18. Nat gas down to about $2.85. So, not a great day for natural gas. We'll cover the storage injection numbers. And we'll wrap it up and send you on your way, guys. But first, check us out online, www.energynewsbeat.com. It's where all these stories reside. Hit the description below. Enough of the pleasantries, though, Stu. Let's kick this off. Where would you like to begin?
Well, let's have a little bit of fun here. Let's start flying across the pond here, dude. Let's go over to UK. You can't buy this kind of entertainment. Hey, there's two people in this kind of world that I don't like: celebrities and politicians. This one's kind of actually fun, though, Michael. The title of the article is "Celebrities Call on UK Banks to Stop Financing New Oil, Gas, and Coal Fields." I'm sorry. Famous names including Stephen Fry, Emma Thompson, and Mark Rylance joined activists and businesses in calling on UK's 5 big banks to stop financing new oil and gas coal exploration. Michael, has anybody ever tried to live without oil? Have they tried to heat their house? No. Okay, I just thought I'd ask. Curtis says they want to raise public awareness around the dangerous relationship between UK banks and the fossil fuel industry. Michael, let me ask you this this is a trick question right here.
Okay.
What company lost $7.2 trillion in the first half of last year?
I think it was like the UK bank, right?
It was BlackRock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now, it was all ESG funds. Okay. What was the only ones that did well? Oh, going into energy. Oh, yeah. Do them rich people like staying rich?
No, they don't. Okay. I love this quote. Members of the public are being invited to join forces with celebrities, politicians, campaigners, and business leaders by signing the open letter. My question to you, Stu, is, will you be signing the open letter?
I'm not a politician nor a celebrity, but listen to this one right here. Curtis Group says this was despite clear guidance from the IEA, International Energy Agency, that we cannot develop new oil and gas fields if we are to limit global warming below 1.5 C degrees. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's just remember, when you do sign, Stu, you pledge to not only campaign for change, but also switch to banks that do not finance fossil fuel expansion. So we'll be doing an audit of your bank accounts here very soon.
Okay, this is right here. Curtis says, we hope this weird, wonderful coalition of activists and actors, businesses and brands, celebrities and climate champions put a fire under banks to stop setting the fire to the world.
I mean, it's comical. We hope this, anytime, I would love, who in this world wants to be associated with activists, actors, businesses, brands, and celebrities? Who actually is like, yo, I want to be associated with that? If you meet somebody and they say they want to be an influencer, huge red flag. Huge red flag.
Run as fast as you can. Okay.
I'm surprised anybody listens to us. It's almost creepy people listen to us.
We're legends in our own mind.
All right, what's next?
Okay, it takes a village to raise an idiot. Okay. It's a good thing I was raised by a village. Okay. API, Biden administration must fix broken permitting processes that prevents U.S. energy development. Let me throw this at you. That's the American Petroleum Institute, Michael. But they're doing a pretty good job stopping solar and wind as well, too. So if you're going to be incompetent on everything, you might as well be incompetent on everything. So a quote in here that's just great. API shares the administration's goal of reducing greenhouse gas emissions throughout the economy while meeting the U.S. consumers' needs. But it is just even worse than that. The certainty of project developers need to make significant capital investments in energy and underscores that for a statutory reform, permitting reform. They weaponized the permitting process, Michael, and that's what it all is. And you and I have talked about legislation through regulation. Well, this one just really kind of, the API, God love them. The American Petroleum Institute, they fight for everything they possibly can.
Oh, of course. They're lobbyists. Of course, they're going to have to. If they weren't doing that, they're not doing their job. I do think it's funny. Their PR team failed. Did you not? We knew last night that Chevron was doing $75 billion worth of stock buybacks. Not that that's a bad thing, but maybe wait a few days to announce this, because yes, there is just a hint of irony. So, I'm not hiring the PR, whoever's doing PR over at API. You're fired. That's what should happen. You're fired.
We were even talking before the show, Michael, and I missed that.
It's unbelievable. It's
right.
That's about all I want to say before I get myself more in trouble. I would have a serious, they need a standard operating procedure. That's what they need. They need a standard operating procedure. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Right. All right. Let's go to the next one.
I want to say this. They're as much we poke fun at them, but they are correct in that everything, I don't think the permit process to drill new oil and gas wells has very severely been impacted. Maybe a little bit on BLM lands, but I would say the majority of the permitting issues that they're talking about and bringing to light, and rightfully so, are the larger projects, the carbon captures, the LNG terminals, things like getting Freeport turned online, things that take years that require a NEPA process. They specifically mention here under the current NEPA process, the average environmental impact statement, which is needed for a mine, which is needed for an LNG facility, which is needed for these large projects, takes 4.5 years to complete. 25% of the impact statement took more than 6 years. So it's reducing those times can move these projects along. Now, you do need maybe about a year. Trust me, when I was back in school, homework, fun, I took a class that was specifically on mining project evaluation. And these are 20-year projects to get one mine open from start to all of the permitting processes, all of the different, you have to put together like a 600-page document that then you have to shuffle around. They're called, I forget what the actual names are, but it's, then you go to develop the mine for 15 years. And then you have a 25-year reclamation process. So, I mean, these projects are just absolutely massive, and they're absolutely right in that regard. When it comes to the actual drilling of oil and gas, I don't think we've severely been impacted. BLM has always been slow. They're actually auctioning off offshore leases and nobody are taking them. So
why would you?
exactly. So I think, fire your PR team, but I do think they've got a point here. What's next, Stu?
Tesla.
Hire me. Hey, API, hire me. All I'll say is I'll give you, it'll be just easy advice like this. Hey, just wait a week. Just wait a week.
That only cost them $600,000 for that one comment.
Yeah, we're cheap.
Yeah, we are cheap.
We're cheap.
Yeah. But we're easy. Okay, Tesla weaponizes price cuts to crush the EV competition. Tesla plans to report fourth quarter sales results after the market close on Wednesday. That'll be cool to watch. Investors seek updates on the 2023 demand outlook after the EV company slashed prices worldwide. Do you remember we talked about that the other day when the Chinese were actually going into their stores and demanding rebates, and they started just throwing riots around in China? People get a little grumpy when they all of a sudden announce a sale on a Tesla the day after you drive it off the lot.
And
now Tran said, no, wait a minute. Tran said, I want to make sure I'm not getting us thrown off. Oh, the guy's name is Tran. So
Stanley Tran.
That's right.
32-year-old California psychotherapist. Ooh, I bet he's fun at parties. Ooh, I bet he's fun at parties. I bet he's the most fun dude at a party. Well, actually, I bet you he's that guy. Well, actually, you say something, or he's either that or he's one up guy, where he's always done something better, or he's this guy. Well, so tell me more. Like literally trying to psychoanalyze the conversation. I bet that dude sucks.
I bet he goes around with a portable couch so he can throw people on the couch and try to diagnose them. What do you think?
Just
okay.
Blows up a mattress. So how does that make you feel?
Tell me, do you love your mom? Was it the Oedipus complex? Oh, we're gonna have to cut that out.
I love how the quote from Tran is, "There's no way." They literally, all they've done is they've quoted him as "there's no way" when he heard about the
that's what I was trying to get that through, and I was like, what? That was a Scooby moment.
I think it's great. Tesla already has great operating margin. Cutting your prices a little bit in order to steal market share in the short term is brilliant, in my opinion. I like the move from Tesla's standpoint. And if it's affecting guys like Stanley Tran, even better.
Oh, absolutely. If it gets a defibrillator out of him, I would pay money to defibrillate that young man. All right.
What's next?
Okay, let's go to the next one. That was pretty funny, though. That was
good. We can acknowledge it was good. Let's move on.
Was good. Okay. We may not actually need all that lithium. This one, Michael, okay, you think that we were laughing about getting psychopaths to talk to us on the street with a portable mattress. Let's look at this one. This is just a hoot. We may not need all that lithium, Michael. New research shows how simple policies like improving public transit, urban walkability can significantly reduce demand for problematic materials. Okay, so they're saying you can get rid of the U.S. may need 90% less of these materials if it simply prioritizes things like public transit. Michael, that is ideal thinking at its finest. The U.S. is not like in the Midwest. We drive 4 hours to work.
Yep.
I mean, it's just the way it is. You don't have a chance to have a bus or a car from here to Dallas. It just doesn't work that way. People in LA, they drive an hour each way. I mean, it's not feasible in our market. So And by the way, Michael, how long have they been trying to do this? Quick.
Yeah, for
A
years.
long time. Yeah, it's not going to happen. So just by going up there and saying a number, Michael, okay, this is almost like the Amazing Kreskin again. I'm going to think of a number, Michael. If we all walk, it's going to save 95% of everything. I don't know. That was, I could have written that article. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, nuclear power. Have no fear. Our clean energy future is radioactive.
It's a good title. It's a good title. It's a good title.
You know, just go sit in the corner and glow. The tagline under it is, it would be nice if solar and wind could give us all the power we need, but we're going to need nuclear. Here's what it would look like, and here's what's standing in the way. This was actually a really good article, Michael. When you sit back, Paul DeBar was a distinguishing visiting fellow at the Center of Global Energy Policy at Columbia University. He says, no one who's a real engineer could even imagine anything beyond about 80% wind and solar. I think it's far less than 80%, said Paul. And he is right. He says somewhere between 20 and 50% of our energy pie needs to be constantly available and renewable. That's the first guy that I've heard say that. And that's why I thought it was important. If you sit back and kind of go, you and I have always said, we need wind, we need solar, we need nuclear, we need oil and gas, we just need power. This guy was the first one that I ever heard, and I'm going to give him, you know, he needs to be promoted to IR guy in an honorary position of authority. So are we going to give him was that free ticket from the not getting thrown off the island? So he would get
he gets a free ticket for sure. I mean,
think about that, Michael.
Yeah, a distinguished visiting fellow at the Center of Global Policy at Columbia University. I mean, if that doesn't tell you all you need to know about this guy, I don't know what else does.
So anyway, I kind of liked it. So
yeah.
All right.
We'll see. What else you got?
We got Chevron coming around the corner, dude. You want to tee this one up?
Let me take this.
Yeah.
This is great. This is great. This is great. So, I mean, Stu's laughing because, I mean, if this isn't a middle finger to the Biden administration, I don't know what is. Headline reads, Chevron returns $75 billion to shareholders as White House fumes. Okay. Chevron will launch a massive $75 billion share buyback and raise its dividend, the Dow Jones energy giant announced late Wednesday. So this came last night. The news comes ahead of the fourth quarter earnings due on Friday. Chevron stock advanced Thursday. The $75 billion stock buyback represents a 20% of the shares outstanding at current price levels. It will also boost its quarterly dividend by 6%. The $75 billion buyback program will begin on April 1st of 2023 and does not have a fixed expiration date. I mean, that's absolutely unbelievable. Here's what White House Assistant Press Secretary Abdullah Hassan tweeted. So this is how we're getting our news now, from Twitter. Okay. This is where we have to go to comment now. Twitter. Okay. This is how American politics is done, over Twitter. We're a company that claimed not too long ago that it was, quote, working hard to increase oil production. Handing out $75 billion to executives and wealthy shareholders is sure an odd way to show it. I mean, I doubt any of these executives have any stake in the company. Like, I don't have a Bloomberg terminal, unfortunately. We should. Bloomberg, if you're listening, give me a free terminal. And then if you do, I would look up how much insider percentage they've had, and I would be like, yo, sponsored by Bloomberg. Get a lot of free money, press, right, I should say. But like, I doubt any of these executives, I doubt Michael Wirth has any real equitable or any real ownership in like actual like ownership. He probably doesn't own much stock. He probably owns couple 100,000 shares. I doubt it's not much. These executives don't own anything of these companies they work at. That could be a crime in and of itself. Having a CEO that has no stake in the company. it's just a large corporation. Let's just give them a fat. No, they do that. That's one of the big issues in oil and gas is there's a lot of these management teams that I don't want to name names. We can go look this stuff up publicly. Bloomberg, this is a call. We could pull this up now, but the management teams, they're not very invested. I mean, if there's one thing that private companies do right is the incentive structure is more aligned to management. Right. Management's, they're on the line. In a public company, it's Vanguard who is the owners. It's BlackRock. It's State Street. It's all of these huge hedge funds that they own everybody. I mean, it's the funny part is BlackRock is they own everybody. They ESG, non-ESG, tech, military. I mean, they own everything. Literally, they own everything. So, when they tweet, handing out $75 billion to wealthy shareholders, I mean, yeah, you're giving it back to BlackRock, who's then going to invest that in ESG funds that's going to lose money. I mean, it's a sick cycle. It's a sick cycle. Share buybacks from oil and gas going into BlackRock's account to then be wasted on some stupid wind farm off the coast of Antarctica, because apparently there's a good wind stream down there. We're going to pipe the wind up through batteries. I mean, I'm sure there'll be some great spend on it. But I mean, that's seriously what will probably happen, or what is going to happen with this money. So,
hey, we're going to get some fan mail from a flounder over that one.
Yeah, I mean, okay, sponsor us, BlackRock. We'll change our tune. We're capitalists. We're like you. We're capitalists. We'll sing whatever song makes us the most money. Hey, there's no difference between me and Larry Fink. We'll say whatever it says to get that money in.
There you go.
That's only half of a joke, because there's some truth and some non-truth to that. Let's quickly cut. We're only mostly dead. Let's quickly cover oil and gas prices. On oil, we're at 81.19, coming off about a 500,000 barrel build in crude oil production. So prices did stay fairly strong. Stock market was up overall off of 2.9% GDP growth, which is very good. High GDP growth means we'll probably have more commerce. More commerce means more fuel. More fuel is good for prices. So I think that's, stabilizing. We were all the way up above 82 for a little bit today, settling, as I mentioned, as we record this, at 6:39. I'm about 81.19. Nat gas prices continue to tumble down to $2.84. We have a weak storage print. We had an actual withdrawal of 91 BCF. The street was expecting basically 94, so it's a little bit weaker than expected. But to be honest, Stu, last year we had 217 drawn. So there's just ample supply out there. Nat gas is getting crushed right now. I hate to say it's weather, but it is weather. I had some people at work today asking me, quizzing me, grilling me about nat gas. And I said, I know I hate saying it. I hate saying it, but it's weather. You can't, because nat gas is a localized product. What's going on in Europe with natural gas doesn't really affect us, unfortunately, because it's super hard to, we know, with the whole Freeport issue, no one's got regasification facilities to take all this LNG or distribute it via LNG export terminals, especially here in the United States. So it's all just regionalized. The problems that are this nat gas price, what's going on here, is just affecting the United States. Elsewhere, it's still higher, and there's not much the two interact. Crude, on the other hand, is a global product. Now, we've got two different benchmarks, but that global product, you see much more ubiquitous, to use a fancy big word for everybody. So, that's really, I think that's really all that's going on in the finance sector game. It was a good week, Stu. We had a lot of great articles. A lot of great stuff happened. Next week is NAPE. I will not be there. Somebody has to actually work while you guys are all down there at NAPE, but I only kid. A lot of people will get work done at NAPE. So, I will try to be there in the fall. So, Stu, will you be at NAPE? No, you're not going?
No, not this time. But I am planning on going to
we gotta get the fall one. We gotta be doing live podcasts at the fall one.
We're gonna be at that, but we're also going to try to get sponsorships for the oil and gas World Poker Championship in Vegas. I'm working on that deal right now.
What? Oil and gas poker?
What
is this? Like people who work in oil and gas just gambling huge sums of money, gambling 2 weeks day rate?
It's the World Oil and Gas Show. we're we're gonna go see if we can get sponsored by it. Do live podcast.
Yeah, I mean, that would be fun. That would be fun. I would love to do a podcast with people gambling behind me.
Oh yeah, we're in.
Great.
That's what
I'm
press
in.
pass is for, baby.
I feel like I'm doing that every day. So, all right, Stu, you got anything else for these people? What should you be looking out for this weekend?
Staying alive. All right.
Staying alive. All right, guys. Well, with that lovely comment, we're going to let you get out of here. Start your weekend. Hopefully it's early in the day. If not, we appreciate the hard work to all the oil and gas guys and linemen going out and working this weekend. We appreciate it. But with that, we're out of here and done for the week, folks. We'll see you Monday.
See ya.